Hello and welcome to the Watch Kaki channel, where we bring you all the good and honest watch reviews. In today's video, we are going to take a look at the Glycine Combat Sub Vintage that I purchased from ashford.com a few weeks back, and I tell you, this is a great watch for the money. Over the years, Glycines can be found on the internet from eBay or retailers like Ashford and Watch Guru, and their prices have been very attractive. I got this Glycine Combat Sub Vintage for US dollars $399 excluding shipping, and I think this is a cracking deal for a watch of this build and specs. Let's go through some of the basic specs of the Glycine Combat Sub Vintage. The watch has a case diameter of 42mm. The bezel is just slightly over 42mm. It's got a case thickness of 10.5mm from the case back to the top of the sapphire crystal. Let me repeat that, it's 10.5mm. It has a lug width of 22mm, and lastly it's got a lug length of 50mm from lug to lug. Let me give you some extra information you cannot find from the Glycine website. The watch has a crown diameter of about 7.5mm. That's a really good size for winding and unscrewing the crown. It's also got a crystal size of about 32.5mm. Let me just take some time to repeat the case thickness measurement. It is indeed 10.5mm. I think this is really the highlight of the watch. This is so thin for a 200 meters rated dive watch. So sitting in front is a flat sapphire crystal that sits just slightly proud of the bezel. The bezel actually slopes outwards, slopes down outwards, and it leaves the bezel somewhat exposed. Powering the watch is the Sellita SW200 movement. This movement is automatic. It hacks and hand winds, and I think it is fast becoming the replacement for many watches that used to house the ETA 2824 due to movement shortage. And I think brands like Zinn and Oris, they have started to use SW200 for many of their watch models. So this being a Swiss-made watch with Swiss movement, the build is really fantastic. I would say it's a cracking price to purchase this one for $399 from ashford.com. The actual retail price for the Glycine, if I remember correctly from their website, it is over 1,000 Swiss francs, but I'm sure nobody pays retail for Glycines these days. And these days you just need to go on eBay, Amazon, Watch Guru or Ashford, and you will find plenty of good deals for Glycine watches. So let us just zoom in a little bit and talk about the case construction of the Glycine Combat Sub Vintage. The watch has a full stainless steel construction. The case, bezel, bracelet, everything is stainless steel, and it is done in a really nice brush finish. Of course, it's a two-tone diver we're looking at, so the center links, the bezel and the crown, they're PVD plated, gold plated, and even the gold plated parts, they're also done in a brush finish. I think I mentioned this in my unboxing video. I really love the brush finish. I think it has a nicer look to it over polished finishes. And the aluminum bezel insert, just like the rest of the watch, it's got a brush finish to it. I really love it. It's got a radial brush finish, and on it we've got the printed dive markers. They're done in, again, gold paint, and the lume pip just sits slightly proud of the triangle here. So all around the watch, it's got a pretty basic construction. There are no bevels of any sort, but the edges are done really nicely. They are not sharp or anything like that. They are nicely done, and I really like the fact that the watch has got a really thin mid case, and the lugs actually slope downwards dramatically. Take a look here. So later on in the wrist shot, you will see how well the watch goes on even smaller wrists like mine. So it's all because of the sloping lugs here. It curves really nicely and it hugs the wrist very well. The bezel on this watch is a 60-click bezel. The action is pretty decent. It's not premium, I would say it's decent. Everything clicks nicely and there is really no misalignment of any sort. If I bring it to 12 here, you will see that the bezel alignment is just perfect. And the PVD done at the coin edge of the bezel and the grip of the crown, I think they are very well done, very well made, so it makes the watch very easy to operate. There is also a small nub or tab here at the lume pip. I guess it serves some kind of function for you when you're diving to check that this is indeed the 12 o'clock mark. And over here at the crown, you will see that the crown is nicely engraved. It is done in a reverse engraving method. It is not very deep, but I would say it's good enough. As is the case back, you get to see this double seal kind of motif, and again it is done in a reverse embossed format. And unscrewing the crown reveals a very solid looking rubber gasket, and I think the crown stamp actually looks really robust, very well made. There is no wobble or any kind, just fantastic. Now, I'm not normally a bracelet person when it comes to watches. I normally prefer to wear watches with rubber or leather straps, but this one here, being a two-tone diver, you have no choice but to order it in this form. The stock bracelet, when it came, I really liked how it looks to complement the overall two-tone look. So I initially bought a couple of NATO straps and also a sailcloth strap, but I come to the realization that these straps shouldn't be on this watch. I think I'll just leave the stock bracelet on it. And the bracelet quality is actually very good. It's got solid end links, solid links, and a proper milk clasp. It's got a flip lock security latch here, and it's got a twin button trigger release on the milk clasp. Alright, nothing overly premium here, no diverse extension or anything like that, but it does have a 4-button micro adjustment. So overall, I would say this is a very simple and classic design for a dive watch. There are no flanges or any weird kind of crown guards or anything like that. Even the crown guards on the Glycine Sub Vintage, I think it's very simple, elegantly done, very slim. So let's move on and talk about the dial design of the Glycine Combat Sub Vintage. I think the most prominent feature of the dial is the use of mix of Arabic numerals and stick markers. We've got 369 printed in Arabic numbers and leaving the rest of the hour markers as stick markers. And there's also the use of a large inverted triangle at 12 o'clock. All the markers and the logos and all that, they are all printed on this watch. I'm not too sure about previous versions of the Glycine Combat Subs. I'm not too sure if they have applied markers, but this one that I bought, it is fully printed, and I would say the print is nicely done. As the name implies, they have used an off-white color to make the watch look as though it's some kind of vintage looking piece. The name of this watch, the model name is Combat Sub Vintage, so I'm not surprised to see that they have used some kind of fake patina kind of color for it. And I think the logo is pretty interesting here. This is the latest version of the Glycine logo. I think this happened sometime in late 2018 or 2019. So they've got the latest logo where it is printed and it is a hollowed out castle. Now, I've owned a few Glycines over the years. I think you talk about 15 years ago, they had no logo printed on the dial. It's just the Glycine word, and soon after they had this version where it is an applied logo. I've got an older Incasur that I bought in 2013, so this one has got an applied logo. Then there's also the Invicta version where the Glycine logo somewhat looks like a wing or an eagle or something like that, but these days they stopped using that due to copyright issues with Armani, so they've gone back to the castle logo, and this time it's no longer applied, it is printed. And I gotta tell you, I really like this version. The watch hands are really slim, with the hour hand looking somewhat like a Rolex Mercedes, but it is a hollowed out Mercedes in this case, so perhaps I'll just call it the onion hand. I'm also liking the splash of red at the lume pip and the date. The date disc has got red fonts, as well as the last line at the 6 o'clock area, so I think it says sub 20 atmospheres. I really like the splashes of red prints across the dial. And finally, I'm going to zoom in just a bit more to let you see what I think is the highlight of the dial. That grainy textured look on the dial, I think it's just beautiful. The dial is black, but due to the grains and textures, it does look like really dark grey or something like that, but it is indeed black. But just see how it plays with the light. At different angles to the light, you will see that the dial is really textured and the grains are really making this watch look really good. So I've just given the lume a full blast with my studio lights. Let's switch off the lights now and see how bright the lume is. Boom! Right, there you have it. The lume is actually quite bright. I would say it's pretty good. The hour and minute hands, they are lume, along with the central second hand, and got the lume peep, and of course the hour markers, the huge inverted triangle at 12 o'clock. 369, they are fully lume. I would say the lume is pretty impressive, but of course this is not Seiko standard bright lume, but I would say it's good enough. And here's a wrist shot of the watch in natural light. Here you can see how good looking this watch is. I really love the two-tone look and also the brush finish. The watch is bling for sure, but it is not overly done because the brush finish doesn't make it look too gaudy or anything like that. And I really love how thin the watch is. You can see the thin profile as well as the curved lux. And for size comparison, today we have the Tudor Black Bay put against the Glycine Subcombat. You will realize that both watches are about the same in terms of size. They've got about 42 case diameter, and the lug length is, I think, is exactly the same. They are both 50 millimeters lug to lug. So by looking at these two watches face on, you will see that okay, they are pretty similar. But once you look at the case thickness of both watches, you will know that the Glycine is really very thin. It's got a 10.5 total thickness, 10.5 millimeters, and look at the Tudor Black Bay, it is close to 15 millimeters in height. The actual crystal or the bezel and the crystal, they're sitting way higher than the Glycine that is on my left. And also there is no curve to the mid case of the Tudor. Take a look here, we've got a really nice curved mid case on the Glycine, and this really makes the watch much nicer to wear. And in terms of weight, I would say this Glycine is really very manageable with its bracelet size to about just under 7-inch wrist. It weighs about 151 grams. Let's take a look and compare it with the Tudor Black Bay. Again, size to the same wrist size at about just under 7-inch. This one comes in at about 170 grams. So overall, I would say this is a great watch for the money you are paying. I paid $399 US for this watch. Swiss made, automatic, hex and hand winds. I mean, it's got a solid bracelet. Of course, the bracelet is not the most premium. It's got like catalog parts, like the clasp here, catalog parts, and it rattles a bit. But no issues. You're paying $399 US for a Swiss made diver, and I'm telling you, some micro brands are charging even more money for this. You get a classic no nonsense look kind of diver, very classy looking, with no frills or no flanges or any silly crown guards and all that. So it's a very classic looking piece with a really nice curvy mid case here that makes it so comfortable to wear. I mean, the lug to lug length is 50 millimeters, but so what? Because of the curve, the watch wears really well and it sits really comfortable on any type of wrist size. And of course, this being a PVD coated watch with all the plating and coating, you wonder if the plating is durable, if it's strong enough to withstand rough use. But I'll tell you honestly, this being a two-tone diver, I don't think I will wear this for serious action such as hiking or working at the garage. And I gotta be honest with you, I really think that this is a steal for the price you pay. You're paying like under US dollars 400, and you're getting a Swiss made diver that's actually very well made. So I'm saying this only because I have bought the watch already, alright? So in case they jack up the price after my review, please, if you're sitting on the fence, please go ahead and seriously consider putting this into the checkout. So just one more wrist shot before we sign off. Take a look at how thin the case is and how the lugs, they curve downwards here, really giving you a very comfortable fit. I'm telling you, there are many dress watches that are 12, 13 millimeters, and this one is only 10.5 millimeters. Just unbelievable. So there you have it, the Glycine Combat Sub Vintage. Great watch for the money. I mean, you are paying micro brand money for a Swiss made diver, 200 meters rating, excellent build for the money, really nice, that thin case and really nice curved lugs. I'm telling you, this is a steal. You really need to seriously consider this watch. And from the Watch Kaki, I'm going to see you next week. This is George. We're going to say goodbye. Bye bye. So of course now we move on and talk about the dial. We're going to talk about the dial now, and what do I need to say? The aluminum insert on the bezel, it actually wait, the mic is not with me. The mic.